This
meeting.
conference will now be recorded.
All right. So first agenda item is the roll call. So I'm going to go through my list, and then if there's anyone else not on the list, then I will ask afterward. So once you hear your name, just say that you're here. Shelley Entrikin. I see that you're here. I'm going to mark you as here. Barb Long. Doug Manick. Audra Miles.
Here.
Joe Coffin. Craig Boynton.
Here.
Hannah Fuchs. David Luders. Mary Patton. Shamra Robinson.
Here.
Tracy Dowell. J. Thomas Howes. Sierra Smith.
Here.
Max Schneider. Tyler Rogers.
Here.
Sean Griffin. Well, he was here. I will put a question mark. See if he comes back.
It's going at 4.
All right, Sean, if you're able to type or let us know if you're here, then I will write it down afterward. Don Harper.
I'm here.
Jody Scott.
Here.
Angel Marinich. Renee Razzo. Chris Mitchell.
Here.
Don Rulis. And Greg Cassidy.
Here.
All right, let's see if we have a quorum. Yes, it looks like we do. I believe. We might be, but hold on.
I think Sean just left.
See, yeah. Okay, it's a maybe. It's a maybe. If we get one more, then we will get a quorum, but not quite. And now we do have other folks. Let's go through everyone else online, and then we'll do some introductions in the room. We just gained another caller. Who just joined us?
This is Sean. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Now we
Okay.
definitely-
For some reason, you couldn't hear me before.
All right, this one works just well, thanks. We do have a quorum. And let me go down my list here. I see we have Katie Dedmond. And remind me where you're from again, Katie? What
I'm
organization?
from Western Illinois Area Agency on Aging.
Right, thank you.
Yep.
And we have Molly Pilgreen. Could you say where you're from?
Phoenix Community Development Services in Peoria.
All right. I'm taking notes. And let's see, we have Audrey from Snyder Village and Marie
Yes.
from Louisville.
Yes.
Is there anyone I missed? Is there anyone else? All right, great. And then we'll have you guys just say your names as well.
Oh, I'm Francesca Lewis, planner with Tri-County Regional Planning Commission.
Gabriel Guevara, also planner with Tri-County Regional Planning Commission.
All right, excellent. Moving on to public comment. Do we have any public comment today? No. All right. So the next one we have is approval of August 2nd, 2022 minutes. Can I get a motion and a second, please? Second, please.
So moved.
Got Greg Cassidy as a first.
I'll second.
All right. Second by Jody. Okay, are there any comments about the minutes? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the August 2nd minutes, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, that motion passes. The minutes are approved. Moving on to provider and agency updates. Let's go backwards, down to up on my list. So Greg Cassidy, why don't you start, please?
Well, Sean's here, so I'll let him talk about We Care, but TCRC all seems to be going well. Continue to have some issues with the sudden disappearance of catalytic converters, trying some different security things, and where we're parking, trying to move out of some areas that we've in, but we're up to, I think, 15 or 16 over the last 9 months we've had taken off into various vehicles. So that's that's on the TCRC side.
Man, that's too bad. All right, well, hopefully we can get some better news next time. Next one on my list, I've got Chris Mitchell. Do you have any updates to share?
No, I haven't been well enough to travel, so I don't, but I still find that the dispatchers are excellent, and so thank you.
All right, sounds good. And Jody, you're next. Have any sort of update for the crew?
No, I don't have any updates.
All right, moving on to Dawn Harper. Anything to share?
No, I really don't have nothing to report.
All right. Sean Griffin, do you have anything for We Care?
Yes, we have recently finished online training with Tripmaster. We are awaiting hardware, and then Tripmaster will be there here for a week of training us live, and we hope to be live by either the end of this month or the beginning of next month.
Nice. Well, that's exciting. Only system. Okay, so next I have Tyler Rogers. Do you have anything relevant to share with the group?
No updates at this time.
All right. How about Sierra Smith from Tazewell County Board?
No updates, thank you.
All right. And Shamra Robinson from CityLink?
Good afternoon. Just a few updates. So I'll be working with Angel pretty soon because we want to try to update the City Lift Riders Guides. I know that we've had the same ones for quite some time, and so be working with also the ADA committee for approval with that. But we still have to have a meeting to kind of get things started. I know that Angel, she's been like really busy, and that's one of the other bullets I have here. She's pretty overwhelmed right now and short staffed. They've lost quite a few operators, so she's working dispatch, and then she's got several other people that aren't, operators but managers. Also on the routes, just helping people so they can get to and from where they need to go here in town. So hopefully we'll be able to have a meeting soon so we can start working on that. And then with the City Lift program that we have, which is a pilot for 6 months in Washington, they've had about 60 rides within the last month or so. I'm not for sure if Jim Bremner's on here or not, so I know that he'll be able to share a lot more. And then we just done a little bit of expansion with City Lift. The Cedars of Lebanon in all locations now have access to paratransit service if they qualify for the service. So we're just happy about that and excited to be able to help a lot of those riders out in that area. And just completed the past HSTP goals for REMA within the last couple weeks or so. And as an update for the fixed route service, we plan to provide free veteran rides in November, and then also on election day there will be free rides for fixed route. And that completes my report.
All right, a lot going on. Okay. Next, I've got Craig Boynton with Galesburg. Do you have any updates? There you
The
go.
only thing I really have to report is in the last month, we did lose a mechanic, a fixed route driver, and a dispatcher. So we're in the process of replacing those positions. We have made offers for a driver and a mechanic, so we're happy there. Still working on the dispatcher. We are finding there is obviously a significant driver shortage in multiple areas, and it's become very competitive. So I've actually reached out to the junior college here to find out if they can dust off a CDL program and possibly partner with Galesburg and then some other local businesses to see if we can get this program up and running again.
Okay, all right, that is good to know. I hope that pans out, because that would be really useful, even for the rest of the region, if anyone needs that.
Yeah, right now we're looking at the closest we have is Spoon River College for driver training, and it's a 6 to 8 week course, and it runs about $4,500 a driver. So it's, if I can do it locally, I'd really rather do it locally.
Yeah, definitely. All right, thanks for that. Moving up, we've got Audra Miles from Fulton County.
Nothing to report.
Okay, how about Shelley Entrican from FCRT? I think she might have dropped off. Okay, we'll see if she rejoins. And then we've got our other folks that are on the call. Audrey, are you still on? Do you have any updates about Snyder Village?
No updates with Snyder Village. Everything's about the same. We're still, whereas we have trouble with the drivers also. I know of a driver, but I can't hire him because he's my son. So,
oh boy.
But you know, he works for a school, and he would like to have another job that is more, you know, more not seasonal. So, yeah. Other than that, that's it.
All right, thank you. Let's see, how about Marie from Ivy Hill? Do you want to share anything with the group?
We have no updates.
All right. Who else? I've got Katie Dedman from Western Illinois Agency on Aging.
I don't have any updates.
Okay, and then how about Molly from Phoenix? I know you're just popping in for the day, but if you have anything relevant that you think others would like to hear about. Or not? All right, cool. So did I miss anyone? I think I made the rounds. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 5. That's the discussion of the HSTP plan document. So I'm going to share my screen here. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Just working out the details here. Okay. All right, that's going to be how it is. Okay, so we wanted to give a short update about the document. I know that last meeting, if you recall, we originally wanted to have a draft completed by this meeting. We are getting very close. We don't quite have a draft, but we've made a lot of progress. So we'll introduce you to that. This is the agenda plus just a map, one of the new maps of our region that our GIS person has created. So we'll go over the timeline once more, and then the outline of the HSTP document now that we've dug more deep into it, and then the goals and objectives. So as far as the timeline, the new hope is to have it done by November 1st. Like I said, we are pretty far along. It's just a matter of stitching different sections together and finalizing that part of it. So that is the draft. Actually, let me.
There's woods in Hawaii, so are the assisted living out there.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure that you guys have my card here.
There we go. Oh, geez. I thought I fixed it and then I changed the settings. There we go. So the next step then is to start our 30-day public hearing time. So for all of our plans, we require 30 days of public comment period. And we do also require 3 specific public hearings. And what that entails is just going to 3 different meetings and opening up a session where people can comment specifically about the draft. So we're going to have one of those on November 1st. So I'm going to call that a special HSTP meeting. It will be optional, but you can please feel free to join if you like. We will have a draft by then, so I'll give you more information as that gets closer. So that will serve as one of our 3 public hearings, and then we will also have another one with our technical committee that same month, as well as our commission. So that would count for our 3 public hearings, and that's open to the public as always. And so by December 6th, that is our regular HSTP meeting. So every couple months, that would fall on December 6th. We hope to approve the draft by the HSTP committee if we have a quorum that day, so that will be finalized then. And then we move along to our technical committee who recommends it to our commission, and then it would be fully finalized. So this is our cover page that actually Gabe made for us. And we're really excited to show actual people who will use the service and currently use different services throughout the region. So I asked for photos from anyone who wants to give them, and we are actually putting them in our plan. So here's, you can see the folks who are using the services. It's nice to directly point to, you know, this is what this whole process is about, is actually the people. So in terms of what the document will include, we've got your typical, you know, executive summary, introduction. I will show a couple maps. We have some extensive demographics that shows the different parts of the region that have different types of populations to hone in on and focus on a couple things. We've got service providers, just talking about where they, and showing where the different providers are in the region, as well as who the committee is. We did include a section about outreach. So if you remember, we had surveys and different types of opportunities for people to comment. And then we have the service gap analysis is going to be an in-depth analysis of the survey results. So that will show what people are actually saying in the whole region. And these are examples of 2 of the maps. So that left one shows the concentration of seniors in the region. And you can see that it's generally in some of the more rural areas, but not in every county. So it does vary. And then on the right, we have a concentration of people with disabilities throughout the region. And so these type of maps help because then we can really understand where there is the highest need. So these are 2 examples. We do have some for veterans and youth and people who do not own a car as well. So all of this is informative to what we're trying to accomplish in the region. So as for the rest of the document, we have our action to serve the gap. So that's essentially the goals that we've come up with. And those are directly from the surveys and any of the feedback that we've gotten throughout the whole process over the past year or so. And a list of coordination successes. So this is basically an update from the last plan. So we took the goals specified in the last plan and the specific objectives. So there were actually 57 of them, which is too many, in my opinion, for this iteration. We will not have 57 objectives, but we surprisingly were able to succeed in about 25 of those, which is really good. That's a big chunk of them, and that will be specified in the plan. There was also a gray area mobility plan that was just for the urbanized area, but since it focused on public transportation, we are going to include that as well. And then these are just the appendix items. I won't go too far in depth, but we'll show things like the surveys themselves, the bylaws, the graphs, specific graphs from the survey data. And then we'll also have a map of any locations that people specifically highlighted. So whether that was in the surveys themselves or at any of the places where people gave us any feedback, they say, oh, you know, we need service in this specific intersection or this specific organization, then we're making a map about that. All right, so we will dive into the goals here, and that'll round out this presentation at least. We decided, just like last time, there were 4 main goals, so we felt that that was a good number. And again, these are based directly from the surveys and all the feedback that we got. So our goals are within the realm of education, service expansion, infrastructure, and multimodal options, and affordability. And I will send this out to everyone, so you can, if you can't see the PowerPoint now, then you'll be able to look through it later. So in terms of education, we want to create awareness of public transportation and educate the riders and potential riders about how to navigate the system. We want things like easy to understand instructions, because I know I received at least one comment from one of our events that said that a woman's son was interested in using public transportation, but it was difficult for him to really understand the logistics. So that would be helpful. Using technology in terms of communication, just exploring different options there, improving signage where possible, and just giving people information about the options that they have. And then our next goal is service expansion. So where possible, try to expand the geographical service area and or the hours of operation. And also now that these are not, black and white, even if, we make small steps in the direction of any of these, I consider that a success because it's better than it was. So don't feel like these are very strict, but we will always do what we can. So if possible, to provide flexible hours, for different types of options there, potentially obtain a more extensive fleet, again, where possible. And these are over the course of 5 years as well. Contract with other agencies where possible, focus on the gray area. Those were gaps that we had seen in the gray area plan within the urbanized area, and just continue researching funding opportunities that could help. All right, and moving on, we've got 2 more goals here, 2 more goal sections. Infrastructure and multimodal options. So we want to improve the infrastructure, things like sidewalks, bus shelters, and also things like bike lanes and bike infrastructure, because that can be connected as well. Improve the transit system to allow more multimodal options. So that's where biking and walking come in as well. We're looking at connectivity over the whole region, and conducting or engaging in feasibility studies to explore other options and potentially vehicle sharing where possible. All right, and this last one, we did see enough comments about affordability to warrant a whole goal section. So again, we're flexible here. So that doesn't mean necessarily you have to eliminate your fares. I know that's probably not possible, but, you know, things like, I know that Peoria is connected with, GPMTD in Peoria is connected with the libraries, and they had 1 month free for all library users. So you could present your library card and then get a free ride. So things like that are also successes, even if they're temporary. Just exploring different options for riders when it comes to how to pay as well. All right, and that is the last slide that I have. And I will stop talking for a little bit. Does anyone have any questions or comments at this time? I know that I just threw a lot of information at you. All right, going once, going twice. Excellent. All right, well, in that case, we will continue working on this plan with all those elements. We just wanted to show you that there's progress being made, and we're working towards the new November 1st release date for the draft. So look forward to that. Okay, so I will move on to the HSTP coordinator report. I've got a relatively short report here. So earlier this month, I went to the Illinois Public Transit Association conference, that's IPTA, and that was in O'Fallon near St. Louis. And I felt that that was really useful, and I know one of the sessions we talked about, or somebody presented about microtransit, and I know that's a term that's been thrown around as well, similar to like what Uber and Lyft use. So kind of a form of demand response that can be more, just offer more options. So there were some examples shown from Chicago, Quad Cities, St. Clair County. So there were people there from all those places. And then there was a consultant who talked about their experiences as well. So I felt that that was helpful. We also had an HSTP coordinator meeting. One idea that was brought up was to maybe collaborate with different types of agencies, things like temp agencies, or other organizations that might not directly be involved with public transit, but their clients would be useful to either talk to about future surveys or just to include in the conversation. So I thought that was worth noting. And then my final note is about 5310 urban. So this is, you know, since we are the size, since the Peoria region is the size that it is, we receive urban funding within the 5310 bucket. And there are 2 projects that are kind of grandfathered at this point. We had received funding for them in the past, and the FTA has suggested that we finalize those projects soon so we can complete that funding. And so we're working through that. There's the environmental process through NEPA, and so that is just going on. And I think those are the big things for me. There's always a lot happening. And I think I'll leave it there. Did anyone have any questions or comments about any of that? All right, I'll call that good. So moving on to 7, which is other. Any final thoughts before we finalize this meeting? Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna call it then. It is 12:31. We will adjourn. Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rima.